long time since I've jumped on here. I'm just going to make sure that we are properly live. Okay, now we're live. Hello, how are you? It's been so long since I've gone live. I just haven't really been doing many lives. So I thought I would just jump in really quickly today to just answer a question that was posted a while ago. I said, say with me, it's safe for to allow this to be easy and effortless. And then someone was like, oh, what if that's even really difficult to say as well? And I totally sympathize with that. So I thought, what better way to address that than to come into a post, which is, why is it so hard to let it be easy? Which sounds strange when we say it out loud, right? And for those of you who don't know me, my name's Caleb. I'm a spiritual business coach to high performers. The I guess the claim to fame or the expert status, if we're doing things textbook, is within 30 to 90 days of clients working with me, they usually do 10 to 20K to their business completely organically without the friend farming and the growth strategies and that kind of thing. We focus solely on the energetics and the emotional foundations of building the business. So this is part of a greater book I've written called The Nine Identity Shifts in Order to Go from Six to Multi Six Figures. So if you're the kind of coach or consultant or entrepreneur that is kind of tired of the hustle culture, tired of the push, the friend farming, all the sleazy tactics, then this kind of philosophy and stuff that I'm sharing with you will really, really, really help your business. And so in today's video, we're going to talk about why is it so hard to let it be easy. And I think the key thing to understand here is that everything is primed against you, from society to our market to the industry. It's all telling us that there is honor in the hustle, that we're supposed to it's supposed to be difficult, it's supposed to be hard, and this narrative is just reinforced. And if you have gone down that path and you've joined those programs and you've done those things, you found that it just hasn't really worked for you. But there's this kind of conflict where you have had moments of pure bliss and joy and manifesting things that are far beyond normal parameters and and comprehension, and you've actually created things quickly and fast without really having to put too much effort in. And the thing that kind of stops and slows down the manifestation is this belief that it needs to be difficult so that we don't seem weird compared to everybody else. And there's this big fear of judgment piece from society of what would other people think of me if it was allowed to be this consistently easy. And this is something that I've been in resistance to for a while. Is if you don't know a little bit about my story, in 2018, my wife and I, my now wife, she wasn't my wife back then, but my now wife and I, we left Australia. We decided to go full time nomadic. She'd quit her job, and she built a full time business. And then in 2016, prior to that, I'd quit my job. I did $90,000 in 90 days revenue, and we ended up traveling through Southeast Asia. We got engaged in Langkawi. We stayed in all the really nice hotels, and we lived my parents call it dinky life. So disposable income, no kids yet. And now we have kids now. If you've been following my socials, you see our beautiful daughter. So we're technically not dinkies anymore. Um, and it was one of those things where the life that we'd set out to create when we first started didn't really seem like it was possible. And for the longest time, I think I was deciding that it wasn't allowed to be easy because I worried what other people would think if it was. And what that meant was it created struggle. And the struggle was a good thing for me, because then I could show everybody, I could say, hey, look, I'm struggling. It's okay that I can have this success, because if I struggle, then I deserve the success. And there's some degree of programming for this in a lot of the clients that I work with, where it needs to be hard, it needs to be difficult, needs to be more challenging than it already is. And a lot of the reason for that is so that they don't get judged for allowing it to be massively easy. And if we just take a really practical example right now of in business, you get to decide how you want your business to run. I was talking with this client the other day where I said, well, how do you want this launch to go? How do you want to do this? She's like, I would just like to write to my list. And I was like, okay, let's just do that. So what if your socials were just to generate interest and generate opt-ins to grow your list? Your list is 2,000 people. You've got a solid offer. Like you only need 10 people to get to six figures at a $10,000 offer. So why not just use your socials as an opt-in and then write to your list? And it was just so simple, but so difficult because who are we to allow it to be that easy? And and this is something that we're just working through at the moment. But I think this is true for a lot of us. Is what if it was that easy? What if things were allowed to be exactly how you decided, and you didn't have to honor the struggle, you didn't have to capitulate to other people's standards of what they thought was appropriate and that kind of thing. You could just literally have it the way that you wanted. And what you'll notice is it takes all the pressure off all these other ways of doing it. You won't fall so much victim to the marketing ploys of the you need your webinar, then you need your funnel, then you need your lead magnet. A lot of that stuff, sure, it can work, and I've done those programs and I've spent the money and I've been down that track. But it's nothing has worked for me as easy as getting my energy and my emotions and matching the frequency of what I have and then manifesting it, which feels so weird to say out loud. And owning this space of saying, hey, like if you are the kind of person looking for a business coach that values the emotional transformation and the energy and frequency of having what you want, if that's what you're looking for, then I'm that person. That feels really weird, but it's true. This is what I've been doing behind the scenes, and it's probably one of the reasons why I haven't been as live as much. I've just kind of been operating in the shadows, if you will, or working with some of the industry leaders that you probably know and heard of, by laying the emotional and energetic foundations for them. So here I am now declaring that I'm going to take up this space. But yeah, so this, I mean, this is the biggest takeaway for you. The reason why it's so difficult for it to be easy and effortless, or why it's so hard that it be easy, is because society judges you, and there is honor in the struggle. And who are we to let it be this easy and effortless? But the thing that you need to remember is you have moments where it has been really easy, where it's been really flowy for you. Like it's not had to be really, really difficult. And we kind of forget about that, where you've had these moments where you haven't needed to do the cold DM strategy, you haven't need to run the webinar. You just did one post, the person showed up, they said I'm ready to buy, and they're a perfect client. And we forget about these moments. And the reason why we forget about them is because we think we need to struggle. We think that the struggle is honorable. We think that the struggle is something that will allow us to fit in. But the thing is, you weren't made to fit in. And if you can start to lean into or give yourself permission to allow this to be easy and effortless, what you're going to find is you're going to have more of these scenarios where things have become easier to start building up. And then eventually over time, because you're not going to believe straight away that it's everything is easy and effortless. That's not what happens. It wasn't my journey anyway. It was a progression of building up to, by gaining evidence that it is allowed to be easy and effortless. And I remember I just one day with my coach, I made that decision. I said, I'm going to allow this to be easier. That's all I said. We had a session around it. I made a decision. I said, I'm going to allow this to be easier. And whenever that little voice came in that wanted to make it difficult, wanted to get obsessed about the how, wanted to get like really stressed about it all, I said, no, it's okay, just stop. We've made the decision to allow this to be easy and effortless. And I started there. And from there, I started building evidence. The first thing that happened was I think I made $2,400 in 48 hours, which was something I never thought I could do. And then after that, my business grew from $10,000 months to $30,000 cash months. I never thought I could do that either. And it wasn't through any complicated scaling or anything. It was just following the aligned actions that I felt called to do. And so hopefully we got to the point today. If you like this stuff, this is most likely going to be a podcast. So you'll be able to subscribe wherever. It'll also be on YouTube as well. So if you want to just subscribe to our YouTube channel, that'd be really awesome. You'll get notified when I do new videos like this. I'm going to be interviewing some people over the next couple of months. We got one interview lined up for August, and we're just going to be talking about what if it was allowed to be easier. And the tentative name that we're putting in place here is this will be a podcast called Effortless, and it's going to start off as lives, and the lives are just going to be turned into the podcast. But yeah, if you want to tap into the frequency of allowing things to be easier, then tune into this podcast. and come have a listen to the guests that I speak to. Just tap into the frequency of me, because this is what happens with my clients. It's weird. Like as soon as my clients start working with me, crazy stuff happens. Last week, client had a $1,600 week. Another client had a $20,000 launch in their retreat. Another client landed or got landed a videography gig, and then it went so well that they want to fly them over to New Zealand. And so within my frequency, there's just all these things that are allowed to be easier. So yeah, if you also didn't see the comment, there's an ebook that you can download. If you just send me a message or just comment below book, I'll connect you with the ebook. It expands on the principles around allowing this to be more effortless. One of them that is really appropriate to this is called Resistance is a Gift from Our Higher Self. So understanding that when we set a new intention and we move towards something, resistance is brought to the surface so that we can deal with it. So yeah, I hope you got some value from today. I'll be back in a couple of days. We're just going to be going through and talking about this stuff. If you want to think about working with me and doing a journey together, I have a program called Effortless, and I would love to talk to you about that. So if that's something that is for you, there'll either be a link or you can send me a DM and you can just say, hey, can you tell me about Effortless? We've got a quick 20-minute explainer video that I'll send you, and it'll give you all the details. So if you don't want to jump on the phone or you don't want to start a chat, it's super easy. All right, we'll speak to you soon. It's been Caleb. Bye for now.